Hallo iedereen, welcome bij Dutch&Go. Today we're going to talk about the imperative form, how it works, in which cases you can use it, and how to basically make the imperative in Dutch. Let's go! So first of all, before we can look at actual forming the imperative, we need to look at the theory, basically in which contexts we're going to use the imperative. It's basically, as would be the case in English, it's quite a direct form for very direct, mostly physical instructions when you want someone to do something with their body, hands, movements, things like that. Yeah, that's basically when you would use the imperative. So be careful because it's quite direct and people might consider it to be offensive if you don't use it carefully. There are also words that we could use to nuance the imperative, such as maar, eens even, toch. But I'm going to talk about that in a later video, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But it's important for you to know that the imperative would be mostly used, for example, in contexts such as sports. Think about like the gym, what your personal trainer might tell you, instructions that he or she might give you. Pets, when you're talking to your dog or cat and you want them to do something, yeah, then you're also going to use the imperative form. Military context, yeah, well, obviously, which is sort of the same as in sports context, of course. When a sergeant wants you to do something, then yeah, of course, that would be in the imperative form. And then finally is in the medical context, so doctors, dentists, when they want you to do something physical, when they want you to sit, put out your tongue, etc., put your hand up, things like that, they will also express that wish in an imperative form. So basically, those are the four major contexts in which you would use the imperative. So now let's look at the three ways in which you can form the actual imperative and phrase it. So, number one, stam plus rest. That by stam I mean it's the ik form of the conjugated verb in the present tense. And that is basically kom hier, blijf daar, kijk hier, luister eens, sta recht, steek je tong uit, steek je hand op, wacht een beetje, stop. Okay, these are the most common forms. This is the most common way of forming the imperative, basically. The ik form, the stam, plus whatever else you want to add to that with no subject in place. Second form, the second way of making the imperative form in Dutch is with a subject, with an explicit subject. This is the preferred form if you want to make a polite, formal imperative form. So for example, zegt u het maar, which you would often hear in a store or when ordering something. I'm listening. Zegt u het maar. Go on and say what you would like. Zegt u het maar. Komt u maar mee. You can come along. Gaat u zitten. Do have a seat. Watch out. Ga zitten or gaat u zitten. We would never say zit. Zit is only for dogs and cats and pets and circus animals, nothing else. If we want to instruct a human being to sit down, we would always say ga zitten or formally gaat u zitten. Then we would also use the subject form, the jij form, if you're, for example, addressing a group and you want several members of the group to do different actions. For example, jij, kom jij mee? Jij, blijf jij zitten? And jij, kijk jij daar. Yeah? That's basically how you would use the imperative with the subject form in an informal situation. The final, most direct, and also therefore not as common one because it's so direct, is the infinitive imperative, which basically consists of yes, the verb in the infinitive form. Watch out, because this one is the most direct, the most urgent, the most direct form of the imperative tense. So you would only use this in very urgent or very serious, intense contexts. People would often use that, for example, with their children when they're getting a little bit annoyed as well. Things like that. So for example, zwijgen. Ja, zwijgen. Shut up. Niet lopen. Hier blijven. Stil zijn. niet bewegen, etc. So yeah, these are the most common ones, the three common ways of forming the imperative in Dutch. I hope this video was helpful for you. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Check out my blog for further information and further details, where you can also see a very important exception to the first rule, because there's only one exception, but maybe you should check out my blog if you want to know what that is. Yeah, leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified when I'm posting new videos. Tot de volgende keer. Dankjewel voor het kijken. Dag!